Hello and welcome, dear students. How are you all? Welcome to the class of biology. Dear students, please, I would ask you all to report your attendance. Dear students, please report your attendance and we'll begin right away. Okay, so in the last class, we were discussing some parts about the aerial and subaerial modifications of stem. Okay, so do you remember that we have completed the modifications of stem part, right? Almost a small part only remains, or the aerial modifications, I guess. All right. Students, please report your attendance quickly. Okay. All right. So I think I'll start right away because the centers are not yet online fully. Maybe there is some connectivity issue. Okay, so let me start from where I had left off. I was teaching in the last class about the modifications of stem. So there are aerial modifications, subaerial, and the underground modifications. And underground modifications include rhizome, bulb, corm, tuber. So rhizome is basically a flattened sort of structure. It is found in ginger. Bulb is found in onion, garlic. Corm is found in colocasia. And tuber is found in potato. Subaerial modifications include runner, sucker, stolon, offset. Runner is in cynodon dactylon, that is the common grass, lawn grass that we see. Suckers are found in chrysanthemum and musa, that is banana. Stolon is found in jasmine, and offset is found in eichhornia. So up till sucker we had completed in the last class. Today we will complete the rest part, stolons and offsets. Okay. So let us put the heading stolon. Okay. Runner is done. Runner, I told you that it is found in common lawn grass, cynodon dactylon, and Brahmi centinella asiatica. Sucker is basically found in banana. So this is sucker. This is sucker. Okay, let's continue. We have to complete stolon and the other parts today. Centers are still not yet online. Yes, there is because of internet issues. Alright, so whenever you see my lecture, please get back to me regarding what you want to know, whatever you feel like asking me about. Okay. So let's continue. Stolon is the part that is remaining. Please write. Stolon is a modification stolon is a creeping horizontal plant stem or runner that takes root at points along its length. At points along its length to form new plants. This is the basic definition. Okay, this is the basic definition of stolon. Okay, now there is another type of plant called modification called the runner, and what you will be asked in the examination for board examination, it is important for school examination, it is important that you understand the difference between runner and stolon. The difference between runner and stolon. Runner and stolon difference. Okay. So can you guess what is the difference between runner and stolon? Well, there is a difference. Runner lies above the ground. Runner lies above the ground like this. Okay, this will give off some root and shoot here. Example is strawberry, like this is runner. This is runner. Okay. Like this. This is the definition of runner. Stolon basically yeah, okay. And can you also understand what is the difference between runner versus stolon from the different point of view? Okay, center is still not online. All right, so let's finish this. Sorry. Okay, this was stolon. Sorry. This is actually stolon. Sorry. This is stolon. Okay, and runner will basically be like this. Let me draw runner now. Okay, so if the runner is there, it will grow like this. This is parallel to the ground. So based on this, I want you to write few examples. Let's say you should write at least one or two differences between runner and stolon. This is your homework. Two differences between stolen and runner. Stolen and runner, two differences each. Okay, example of stolen. Okay, Fragaria. Stolen example. Fragaria, that is strawberry. Fragaria. Okay. All right. Okay. This is it, the example of that. All right. Now let us continue with what we have to do afterwards. Stolen is done. So now let us take a look at the list that we have here. Stolen is done. Now the example is offset. So the fourth example, that is offset. So for observing offset, have you seen any plant body in which there are plants all spread over the water surface? So these plants are basically Eichhornia, that is called water hyacinth, the terror of Bengal, Bengal terror, because it basically chokes the water bodies. It is an one internode long modification of stem and bears a new plant at each internode. Because it grows so fast, so proliferation is very, very fast. It grows rapidly through vegetative propagation and may soon cover the whole surface of water body. The whole surface of water body. Okay. This is it. One internode long. This is offset. Okay. So new plants are born at every end of that. This is offset. Now let us take a look at the list again and let us cover the rest of the stem modifications. So after that we have basically the aerial modifications: tendril, thorn, cladode, phylloclad and bulbil. Aerial modifications. Aerial modifications. I hope you have written it. So yeah, you can just pause the video there also and finish your notes. Aerial modifications. So the aerial modifications, they are including basically like tendril, thorn, cladode, phylloclad, bulbil, etc. Tendril, so what is a tendril? Tendril, everybody knows that it basically is a outgrowth which coils around a support and helps in providing support to the stem. Now there can be many kind of tendrils. Tendrils can develop from apical bud, from axillary bud, or it can develop from leaf. Many different types of tendrils exist. You can take a look at that. Okay, you can try to Google it up. Tendril is a modification of stem to provide support to the plant. To provide support to the plant. Okay. Tendrils can be of many types. It can be apical, apical bud tendril. Apical bud can be modified into tendril. The leaf can be modified into a tendril. Okay, and there are other types of tendrils. So let us take down tendrils. Tendrils may be formed from apical bud, axillary buds, leaf, etc. So accordingly we call it leaf tendril all right. Anything else from tendrils? Let me help you with that. I hope you have written it. Yeah, I hope my speed is not sufficient in this regard for you to draw diagrams and all that. So what can happen is tendril can come from this part. Tendril can come from apical part like this. Okay. Then there is one more thing that it can be possible, that the leaf apical part, it is getting modified into tendril. So tendrils can be of many types. Okay, different types of tendrils. Sometimes even the main stem can be modified into tendril, so you can also have this kind of form. So that is found in passion flower, passiflora. You can Google up different types of tendrils, or I can give you PPT for that. Let me know. Now let us come to thorn. What is a thorn? Actually, thorns are of three types. What I am here to discuss. Pointed structure of three types: prickle, thorn. Prickle and thorn. There is a third category also, but let us come up to that later. Prickle versus thorn. Prickle is formed of epidermal modification structure. Thorn is basically formed from the modification of axillary bud. Sometimes the axillary bud is modified into a pointed defensive structure against herbivores. Example: thorns of Aigil marmelos. Aigil marmelos is the sacred tree from which leaves for worshipping are derived. It's a trifoliate compound leaf. In Hindi we call it bel patra. Bel patra. So what happens in the case of Belpatra or Agel marmelos? Two very pointed sharp structures are there like this. Like this. Like this. And leaves are like this and that. Leaf are like this. Belpatra leaves are like this. So this is modified axillary bud. There is one more plant in which you have to remember that thorns are present. Have you plucked bear? Yeah, bear that is there. Ziziphus. Ziziphus. Bear also has thorns. These thorns protect against herbivores. Okay? So basically it's a defensive structure. So thorn is also done now. Tendril, thorn. Let us move on to the next part. Cladode, phylloclad. All these things we have to do. So what is let us do okay. Hope you have written it down. Please, whoever will see these lectures, they should see this. Okay. Alright, so let's continue. Let's put the heading. Phylloclad. Now this is very, very important. Give me a second. Okay. Yeah, okay. Give me a second now. Phylloclad is found in, as I told you, Opuntia. Okay. Let us draw Opuntia now. Let us draw Panchia. Like this. So you all have seen Opuntia cactus that I am talking about. Actually, the thorns are white. They are leaf modifications. Actually, these are pointed structures and it is called spine. So this is what I was talking to you about. I told you there are 3 types of pointed structures. Here, in phylloclad, the stem becomes photosynthetic and leaves are reduced to spines. Pointed structures called spines. This adaptation is to prevent the loss of water due to transpiration. Leaf is modified into spines. And this is the phylloclad. This is the phylloclad. So phylloclad is a photosynthetic kind of structure. You can write it is a flattened branch or stem joint resembling and functioning as a leaf. Resembling and functioning as a leaf. Okay, this is the definition of phylloclad. Now let us continue with what is cladode. Cladode is a very juicy appendage. It's I'm telling juicy because this adaptation can be cooked as a food material. Okay, so let us continue with cladode. Cladode. A flattened leaf-like stem. a flattened leaf-like stem. Okay. It is also a photosynthetic stem. Photosynthetic stem and considered to be modified branches as a modified branch, but something is wrong here. Give me a second. Cladode is basically a modified flattened branch. It is just there is a small bit of a technical snag, I guess. Okay, there was some, yeah. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, we can continue again. So, it's also photosynthetic stem and is considered as a modified branch. And considered as a modified branch, which is flattened and basically functions as a leaf and functions as a leaf. Okay. So this is what cladode is. Now cladode is found in ruscus, in asparagus, and in all these plants. It is so juicy, it is so fleshy that we can also use it as food material. Example, cladode of asparagus, ruscus. Both these examples, please learn them very carefully. Very, very important. Okay, so this is about cladode. Now, last part is bulbil. Now what is bulbil? Bulbil represents modified shoot which also functions as reproductive, vegetative reproduction, which also plays a role in vegetative reproduction. Example is agave americana, agave. Okay, so basically it's a vegetative reproductive shoot. Vegetative reproductive shoot. In very short, you can describe it as vegetative reproductive shoot. So these are all the stem modifications that we have done now. Okay, stem modifications are complete. Now, if I include one leaf modification, the question that I was asking you, there are three types of pointed structure in plant. One is called thorn, other is called prickle, third is called spine. Okay, thorn is found in Aegil marmelos, and thorn is found in bay, Ziziphus. So basically a long pointed structure which is a modified axillary bud. So it is basically growing in the axil of the plant, and this is a modified axillary bud. It can sometimes also bear leaves and sometimes also bear flowers. Thorn can do that. Prickle is the outer epidermal modification. Example, rose. In rose, if you want to take out those thorn-like structures, you can do very easily. Just put a finger on the thorn and push it sideways. So it will come off quickly. So it is a modified epidermal cell group, prickle. Third is spine, leaf wholly modified into a pointed structure, that is spine. So prickle, thorn, spine are three pointed structures. Out of these, thorn and prickle basically they are modified stem parts. Okay, so this is done. So finally we have completed the stem modifications. So root is done, stem is done. Now please put the heading leaf. Leaf. How you define a leaf? How do you define a leaf? How do you define a leaf? Yes? Leaf can be defined as simply, you can say, leaf is a modified part having modified flattened part performing photosynthesis. Okay. Now leaf can be of two types. It can be simple, it can be compound. And also there is a distinction between the types of leaves, like what I am saying is simple and compound. But what are the types of leaves on the basis of venation? Venation, do you understand? The network of veins that is found in the leaf. Okay. So that becomes a totally different question. So let us do that quickly. Leaf can be of many types based on type of criteria. Many types can be either simple or compound. Simple leaf or it can be compound leaf. It can be simple leaf or compound leaf. So simple leaf, what is a simple leaf? Simple leaf is something which is found in example mango. So mango leaf, you can say it's a simple leaf. There is a bulge in the back. Like this. So here, the lamina that you see, it is simple and undivided. The margin of the leaf that is there, it is not getting dissected. It is not touching the midrib. When margin does not touch the midrib, it is called simple leaf. Okay. When the margin of the leaf does not touch, when the margin of the leaf does not touch the midrib, it is called simple or undissected leaf. Just write simply, that is, I think, enough. Example, mango. Compound leaf, What is the example? Compound leaf has many examples. Neem, rose. You can take imli as a director indica, that is neem. Imli is tamarindus. Rose is Rosa indica. All these plants, they have compound leaf. Bale has also compound leaf. Now, compound can be of two types: compound palmate, compound pinnate. Okay. When the margin of the leaf proceeds to touch, when margin meets the midrib, when margin meets the midrib, the leaf is said to be compound. Now, compound leaf can be of many types: compound pinnate, compound palmate. Compound leaf can be of many types. Can be of two types, two main categories. And those categories are compound palmate, or compound pinnate. Now, what is compound palmate and pinnate? Let me give you a simple example. This is your hand. Your fingers are all radiating from a common point. So, when you have this kind of structure, it is called palmate. But when it is a different kind of structure, like it is our hand. Suppose our hand, this is my forehand. If it has 2-3 branches, one finger was here, one finger was there, it could be called as pinnate arrangement. So, this is what is happening. Leaf can have all the leaflet arising from a common point, it is called palmate. Leaf can have all the leaves arising from a line form of structure, it is called pinnate leaf. Okay. So, you can do this. So let's discuss palmate leaf. So some people will say I'm drawing cannabis. Probably when you watch this video later, cannabis leaf kind of looks like this, right? Palmate leaf, where all leaflets arise from a common point. Okay. Example, basically you can say palm trees. Palms have this kind of arrangement. Palm trees. Many palm trees, you can take many examples. Pinnate is a very wide category. Pinnate leaf is a very wide category. So if I start this, it will be another topic in itself, but I'll explain in short. So this kind of arrangement, this is bipinnate compound leaf, multipinnate compound leaf, sorry. So these are leaflets. This is main axis or rachis. This type of leaf is called pinnate leaf. This type of leaf is called pinnate leaf. Here all the leaflets arise from common axis. Okay. So finish this fast. Continuing, we have to discuss the differences between the reticulate venation and the parallel venation. Now that you have done it, we should move on to the next. So please put the heading. Type of venation. Leaf has an elaborate network of veins these veins can be arranged in two forms based on which venation can be either reticulate, number one, the reticulate venation, or it can be parallel venation. What is the example of reticulate venation? What is the example of parallel venation? What is the example of reticulate venation? What is the example of parallel venation? Reticulate venation, take any tree for example, any wooden plant tree for example, in which wood is formed. You will always see that the leaf has some particular pattern in which I am drawing a peepal leaf for example. Peepal leaf shows the best pattern of imaginable venation, if you want to describe it like that. Like this. Okay, so what is happening here? Like this. Like this. And between this is a very fine, elaborate, dense network of veins and veinlets like this, like this. Like this. Reticulation means reticulate venation refers to a dense network of veins spread in a pattern where pattern where they are interlocking and intersecting with each other, where they are interlocking and intersecting with each other. Intersecting with each other. Now take an example of bamboo leaf. Bamboo leaf, wheat leaf, or maize leaf, any leaf, or just take grass leaf for example. In this, what happens is all the veins are parallel to each other like this. They're running parallel to each other. Or you can take a leaf of banana. Banana leaf for example. Banana leaf for example like this. So all the veins that you see here, they are running parallel to each other like this. So please write about it. In this type of arrangement, in this type of venation, all veins are parallel to each other. Parallel to each other. Therefore, they are called therefore it is called parallel venation. It is called parallel venation. Example of reticulate venation, dicots. Generally all dicots, there are exceptions to this. All monocots generally have parallel venation and all the dicots have reticulate venation. So how will you identify whether a plant is monocot or dicot? By looking at the leaf venation pattern. So if I see it is reticulate, forming a dense network, cage-like pattern, interlocking cage-like pattern, so that is reticulate. If they are running parallel to each other, that is parallel venation. Okay, so this is done now. Now we will study more types of plants now. Besides the leaf, now we have only dealt with the morphology part. There are some modifications of leaves also. Modifications of leaves. Modifications of leaf. After stem, we study modification of stem. After root, we study modification of root. So after leaf, shouldn't we study modifications of leaf? So please put the heading modifications of leaf. So what are the modifications of leaf that is important for exam? Spine is important. Fill load is important. Fill load is found in Australian acacia. The leaf has some parts. Yeah, you wait a second. First of all, I must discuss with you the parts of the leaf. Then you will understand the modifications of leaf better. Parts of the leaf. Please put the heading. Parts of the leaf. So let me bring for you some leaves also in the next class to make you understand this point. Parts of the leaf. So leaf has basically three parts: petiole, lamina, and leaf base. A typical leaf has three parts. Leaf base, lamina, and petiole. Petiole is the middle part, so I can maybe interchange these two. Leaf base, petiole, lamina, in that order. So what is the leaf base? Basal part of the leaf. Basal part of leaf, by which it is attached to the stem. By which it is attached to the stem. Petiole. So what is the petiole? Petiole is the elongated part, between leaf base and lamina. Leaf base and lamina. So what is the lamina? Flattened part of the leaf which performs photosynthesis. Basically, it is a flattened part which is mainly responsible for performing photosynthesis. Okay, so if I take a leaf like this, let me take a people leaf once again because it's very easy to elaborate on that. People leaf is like this. This part is the leaf base. This central part is the leaf petiole. The rest of the part remaining, it is the leaf lamina. It is the leaf lamina. That is the leaf lamina. So basically these are the parts of the leaf. Okay. And what is the function of petiole? That is a bit important. Petiole helps in allowing the leaf to move with wind movement. So if it is a long petiole type of leaf, if the petiole is very long, what will happen is more air will circulate on the lamina of the leaf. So what purpose will this have? Because the petiole is long, so it helps in more movement. More movement means leaf will cool down faster in hot conditions. A longer petiole allows for rapid cooling in hot conditions. So if a small amount of air is there, so it will help in cooling down of the leaf and helps in air circulation, air exchange, circulation. That is the purpose of the petiole. Okay. So with this, now we will in the next class start with the flower, inflorescence, all those things. First we'll discuss inflorescence, then discuss flower, and after that morphology chapter will be finished. So I hope we will be able to finish inflorescence part at least in the next class. So please pay attention for the next class because inflorescence is very, very important for your both for your board and your NEET exams. I hope you will be there in the next class. So thank you, dear students. I'll meet you in the next class. And till then, thank you. And take care of yourselves. Thank you.